If we multiply or divide by a negative, we have to flip the inequality sign. Yes, Serenity? So we solve like the exact same way. You're going to still see me draw the line, but this time down, instead of the equal sign, it'll be down the inequality. So we're going to solve this, and then we're going to graph it. So let's draw a line down our inequality. And we are solving for x, which means we are getting x by itself. Yeah, so to undo subtraction, I do the inverse, which is addition, and add 7. Okay. So that would give me x is greater than negative 1 up 7 would be at 6. X is greater than 6 is my answer. And so now we're going to graph that. You'll notice that there's not actually numbers on this, and so you need to label it. So I'm going to put 6 in the middle and then put some numbers around it. 7, 8, 9, 5, 4, 3. Will it be an open circle or a closed circle? Open, which means that it does not include 6. It has to be everything greater than 6. And so at 6, I'll put an open circle. Greater numbers are to the right. 7, 8, and 9 are greater. Remember yesterday we also talked about how you can make your inequality into like an arrow, as long as the variable's on the left.
Subtract 4.
Why am I subtracting 4?
Because it's the opposite of addition.
Great. I'm going to apply the inverse of addition, which is subtraction. Not equals. So greater than or equal to is what we have. I'm at 0 and I take away 4. Where am I at now, class? Negative 4. We did not multiply or divide by a negative. I understand that your answer is negative. We only flip if we multiply or divide by a negative. So we are going to graph this. Let's put negative 4 in the middle. And then going to our right would be negative 3, negative 2. You have a number line on your desk to help you. And to our left would be negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. Will it be an open circle or a closed circle? Closed, because it could be equal to negative 4, which means it's including negative 4. So we'll put a closed circle at negative 4. And its x values greater than or equal to negative 4. So which way? Right. X value is greater to the right. Since the x is on the left of this inequality, though, you could make it into like an arrow to tell you which way to go, which would be to the right. Okay, so we're going to multiply by 5. Can someone explain to me why am I going to multiply by 5 here? Someone raise your hand and tell me, why am I multiplying? Isaiah? Yeah, inverse. Good. So we're going to multiply because it's the inverse of division. And right now, v is being divided by 5. So that will leave me v is greater than or equal to 10. Did we multiply or divide by a negative? No, so we're good. We only flip the sign if we multiply or divide by a negative. So we're going to go to our graph and we're going to label it. Let's make 10 in the middle. To our right would be 11, 12, 13. To our left, 9, 8, and 7. Will it be an open or closed circle? Closed, because it includes 10. Remember, you have that cheat sheet over there, kind of near Aaliyah on the cabinet. And it's v greater than, so we're going to shade to the right, or arrow to the right.
That means that it's being multiplied.
So what do I need to do to undo multiplication?
You need to divide.
Okay. Let's divide by 6 then to get k by itself. So k is greater than 2.5. Nice. Now, you could also leave this as a fraction. Did anybody leave it as a fraction? If we simplify 15 divided by 6, what can 15 and 6 both be divided by? 3. So that's the same thing as 5 halves. So you could also say 5 halves for your answer. K is greater than 5 halves. Remember, unless it's like a perfect decimal like this, like 2.5 or 2.75, you should be leaving it as a fraction. So let's graph it. Let's put, now here's the thing. Are we going to put 2.5 on one of the dashes? No, that would not make sense. We're going to put the whole numbers, and then we're going to graph 2.5 in between, right? Yes?
Could you count how long you do that?
I might take off like a half point. So like think about how a number line is labeled, right? It's every one number. And so we have to make sure we label it every one number. So let's put in the middle, we're going to put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2.5 should go right there. It's an open circle. K value is greater than. Since we're going to be dealing with negatives, you need to make sure you flip the sign. V is being divided by negative 3. So Victor, what do I do to get V by itself?
You times -3 on both sides.
Okay. So they'll cancel out. So V is less than or equal to 21. What did I forget? Flip the sign. So actually that's not right. It's V is now greater than or equal to positive 21. You have to flip the sign. Because we multiplied by a negative. Okay, so we got 21. Let's put 21. Since it's a whole number, we can put that in the middle. 22, 23, 24, 20, 19, 18. Will it be an open or closed circle? Closed, because it could be equal to 21. And V value is greater than. If I make my inequality into an arrow, I go to the right. Remember, if the variable is on the right, you have to rewrite it. Jacqueline, right now it's multiplying by -3, so how do I get P by itself? Okay, so divide by -3. So P is, what do I need to do? Flip the sign. P is less than now -6 because we multiplied or we divided by a negative. So let's graph it. -6 can go in the middle. To my left would be -7, -8, and -9. Use the number line on your desk if you're not sure. Open or close? Open. P value is less than goes to the left. For two-step equations, we do addition or subtraction first, and then multiplication or division, because we are doing order of operations backwards. A and S comes before M and P if we're going backwards. So on this one, the first thing I have to do after I draw my balancing line, because we still have to do the same thing to both sides, first thing I do is take care of my addition, and I do that by subtracting. So we're going to subtract 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. So now it's 4x is less than 48, if I subtract those. Since we're done with our addition or subtraction, now we divide by 4, because that's multiplication when I see a number right next to a variable. You guys know what 48 divided by 4 is? 12. X is less than 12 is your answer. To follow along with me, that's also okay. So we're going to do the balancing line. First thing I do is look for addition or subtraction. Right now there's a -1 in front of the y, that's multiplication. And so I have to get rid of the 6 first. A number by itself like that means it's either adding or subtracting. So we're going to subtract because it's positive. So negative 1y is greater than 8. And now we divide by negative 1. When we have a number right next to a variable, that's multiplication. If I'm dividing by a negative, what do I got to do? Flip it. So y is now less than negative 8. We divided by a negative, so we have to flip the sign. Looking at this equation, I see I'm multiplying by a fraction, and I'm adding 1. So I take care of the addition first, guys. How do I undo addition? Subtraction. The inverse of addition is subtraction. So that'll zero out. We are left with 3/5 k is less than or equal to 12. Okay, now maybe some of you guys got stuck on this one. Do we remember? You can raise your hand if you remember. What do we do to get rid of a fraction? Blaine? You could. I would prefer you not. That is a good method, though. That's a good strategy, but there's maybe a quicker way. Jackson? Yes. Multiplied by the reciprocal, which is the flip of the fraction. So that would be multiplying by 5/3, because when we do that, the left side multiplies to 1. So do that on both sides. And so these will cancel out. And we're left with k is less than or equal to, okay, we need to multiply straight across. So first thing we do is make 12 into a fraction. And put it over 1 and multiply. 12 times 5 is 60. 1 times 3 is? What is 60 divided by 3? 20. So k is less than or equal to 20. What should I do first in the last one? Good. Yep. Add or subtract first, always. So we'll subtract 11 because it's the inverse of adding. So we are left with, let's see, on the right we've got negative 64. On the left, you can rewrite this as f divided by negative 4 if you want. So I know that negative is out front, but it's the same thing as it really being with the 4. Kirsten, what's my last step?
You multiply by negative 4?
Why am I multiplying by negative 4? Good. I'm multiplied by a negative. What do I got to do? Flip the sign. So f is greater than 64 times 4. Yep. Because 60 times 4 is 240, and 4 times 4 is 16. So f is greater than 256.